You mentioned earlier on that the diversity of the gut microbiome is reducing, okay? Every decade, every by the yearly and every decade. What do you think we're going to get to if that continues? Like, what is the end result if we continue to become less diverse as time goes on?
True. I think that's a good question, John, because interestingly, we were focusing on a different thing. People now talk about how we can treat the condition, but we need to look at how we can prevent. So, one of the father of medicine, Hippocrates, said 2,000 years ago, he said, all disease begins in the gut.
Yeah.
The modern medicine or the science is only trying to catch up with this early prediction.
Yeah.
So we now know gut, as I mentioned before, plays a very important part in health and disease, the gut microbiome.
Mm-hmm.
If we look at the 6 leading causes of death in the world, obesity, diabetes, high blood pressure, fatty liver, insulin resistance, dementia, and ischemic heart disease, and various cancers. They are the leading causes of death throughout the world.
Yeah.
But largely, they are not caused by genes. They are caused by environment, our dietary choice, and our lifestyle.
Okay.
So you can modify your diet, you can modify your lifestyle. For example, smoking is probably one of the things that's been well described as a detrimental to everything, dementia, the heart disease, and the various cancers. Mm-hmm. So if you stop smoking, you will improve your health. Similarly, there are a lot of other things that we can focus on the diet and the gut microbiome and the exercise. By modifying those lifestyles, we can make certainly good changes, those leading causes of death.
Okay.
So that is an interesting point to think about, how we have come to that level, because the dementia and the stroke and the heart disease are diseases of the modern civilization, because that we have become less active, more sedentary life. Our diet has changed hugely. We heavily rely on fast food diet. We don't exercise. We play games inside, play all the youngsters. So this is all that is to, I think at least now people are beginning to realize that we have to understand to try and prevent the disease rather than treating it.
Yes, 100%. I think it's just very easy to order some pizza or order some fast food nowadays. Like, it's very accessible. People don't really, most of the time you go out, you wouldn't even see the amount of calories in what you're buying, because there's so much junk, extra processed stuff in it. And I think it is a societal problem. What do you, bottom line, like, if you were to make a change, if you were in charge, and you had to make a change that is going to significantly improve, the gut microbiome and gut health of the population, what would be that one change that you would do to cause a big domino effect and improve everything?
I think it is difficult, but first thing is it's understanding, John. I think it's important that people need to get the message that what is causing the problem. So then if we can stick to very basic principles, that good lifestyle choices and good balanced diet. And also, I know that eating is an essential part of life and it is a major enjoyment in life. So that's one of the 3 enjoyments that we have. So we don't want to restrict people enjoyment, what they like. What if a bit of understanding, bit of discipline, and bit of knowledge, I think you can have a healthy and happy balance and well-being. So it's need a bit, I think education is important, the knowledge is important, and they need to understand these changes will make you feel happy. And there's no doubt, there's a lot of research, growing evidence now coming out, and people are talking about it. And that is a good thing, like what you are doing now to reach out people, to inform them, and then they can make changes. Because, I see patients coming to see me and their main diet is 3 liters of Coke. I know it is true, because people get used to it and they get addicted to it. And it is that where that we need to try and make those changes.
Okay.
And before it become too late.
It's quite concerning though, because I think it's very difficult for people to make change, especially when it's related to food. You can give someone the option to have a Coca-Cola, okay, or something that's a bit healthier, like, I don't know, green tea. Most people are going to go for the Coca-Cola because it's the sugar. They know it's bad for them,
True,
but they will still take it. Yeah. So it's difficult to find a balance between just educate, because we already know a lot of people. Maybe you can put it in people's faces more, and also legislation, making things like hard and fast. But I guess that's above our pay grade to make those decisions.
But you're right, that is very true. But the way the food industry or the tobacco industry makes it, people become more addictive to that because they play on the how people get addicted. So if you look at the Coke, is a very famous. People talked about in each can of Coke there are about 8 teaspoons of sugar, lot of salt, and that is when people get used to it. You're right, they get withdrawal symptoms like any other thing that we are addicted to, and it's sometimes people do really need a lot of reassurance and constant information to make sure. But that's what you need. You need patience, you need discipline, and you need more practice.
Okay.
And those are the main things, but they're not easy because otherwise it would be things could be changed overnight. But I think the information, the reassurance, and the constant. But 3 things: good diet, exercise, and good sleep will really recharge you, and you're ready, and you will be a much more, healthier and much more happier person. There's no doubt about that.
Of course.